I hacked Alex Hormozi's $46 million per year funnel. And in this video, I break it all down and show you behind the scenes on exactly how he did it and how you can use this to scale your own business. And what I found will truly surprise you. Now, before we dive into the entire funnel and strategy that he used, if you don't know who Alex Hormozi is, he's an entrepreneur and most known for scaling one of his companies, Gym Launch, to over $30 million per year in under 2 years. Now he runs a portfolio of companies that do over $120 million per year. Alex and his wife, Layla Hormozi, who's also a beast, they started Gym Launch in 2016, where they would go and they would fly out, they would open and they would launch gyms, and they'd make a ton of money for these gyms. As Alex, he had 6 gyms himself, and he's done this very successfully, and so you would do it for other people. They would fly all over the country, they would go open up these gyms, they would launch them in 30 days, and what they would do is he would keep all of the revenue up front that he sold in that 30-day period. So he'd run all the advertising, he'd do all the sales, he would close the clients onto the memberships, onto subscriptions, onto supplements, and you generate a ton of revenue, like 100, 300K a month. He keeps that on the first 30 days, and then he gives the customers to the gym because they're gonna be on subscription. So he's acquiring the customers for the gym and launching it, acquiring a bunch, and then they have the recurring revenue on the back end once he leaves the gym. So he comes in 30 days, boom, they launch the gym, and then they give the customers to the gym owner. Now, the first problem is there's logistical constraints, right? He's going in the flesh, in person to these gyms, right? So he has to fly there, he's paying for flights, paying for hotels, he has to fly his team out there, he has to pay for the advertising himself, he has to be in the gym selling for these guys. So it was a lot of logistics, and it's just not scalable. And the second big problem was that some of these gym owners just sucked at actually delivering for their clients. So whether you're selling the personal training or actually telling them into the gym, some of them were overcrowded gyms, some of them couldn't deliver on the actual personal training, didn't have enough personal trainers. So on the back end, there was constraints there. And so Alex would come in, he would launch a gym, he'd sell a bunch of customers, he'd make a bunch of money, but then the customers would go back to them and start refunding. And so since Alex was taking all the payments, he would get hit with all the refunds, they would shut down his payment processor, and it was extremely stressful for him. And then Alex met Russell Brunson, the CEO of ClickFunnels.
What ended up changing the game for me was when I saw you speak. I can still remember the feeling that I had, which was like, I want to do something, but I don't know what to do. Like, it was like, I just kept thinking, I was like, forget my gym, I want to do this.
And he joined his high-level mastermind. And one of the first things that Russell Brunson told Alex was that you have a level 10 skill set and a level 1 opportunity. So he was going in there launching the gyms, but he didn't have the right opportunity to be able to really scale it the way he could. And so Russell told him, instead of showing them and doing it for them, just teach them and license your actual systems and your processes to your clients, and you're gonna be able to scale a lot more. And you can do it online where you don't have to fly out, have all the logistical constraints, and you're showing the gym owners on how to actually retain their clients and make them worth more over time. And that changed everything from Alex. He switched from this in-person logistical constraints, getting refunds, switched the model to more coaching and licensing his gym launch system and processes to the gym owners so that he could scale even further and run his whole business online. This allowed him to help even more gyms and scale even faster. They then took Gym Launch from 0 to $50 million in revenue in just 2 years, and recently just exited the company as well. Now, how did they scale so fast? Well, that brings me to funnel number 1. It's the automated webinar funnel. You see, when Alex joined Russell Brunson's mastermind, he just modeled what worked. He looked at what Russell was doing, saw what systems and what processes and what funnel he was using, and just modeled off of that. And you can see how similar these funnels are. The page layout, the offer, doing the automated webinar. You can even see the copy is very, very similar, almost identical to what Russell Brunson had. And at the time in 2016 and 2017, the automated webinar funnel was absolutely crushing it. And so there's other big names in the space like Sam Ovens, who was racking in tens of millions of dollars with this exact same funnel. And the automated webinar funnel is exactly how it sounds. It's simply just a simulated live training, live webinar that someone could either get instant access to and join the live webinar, or it runs on a cycle like every 15 or 30 minutes or even on a weekly schedule. But the automated webinar funnel, what it does is it's a live training, it's a presentation that goes through and shows your prospect, breaks down their belief. It goes and it teaches them like typically 3 secrets on what to do, not how to do it. And then at the end, it then makes a pitch and stacks the value in terms of what they're gonna get to solve their overall problem or get the result they want, and then either sells the product right on the webinar, or what Alex did is direct them to booking a call with himself and his sales team. But this automated webinar funnel isn't what made him successful and got to $46 million per year. I'm gonna break that one down in a minute. But what I believe made Alex Hormozi and makes him so successful even to this day is he does what works. He hires a mentor, he invests in masterminds, coaching like Russell Brunson, and then he just does what works. He models off of success. And the problem I see in the market today and why most people don't succeed is because they may invest in the trainings or coaches, mentors, buy online courses, but then they try and do it their way. They try and innovate when they haven't even got the main thing working yet. They're like, oh, well, he's in this niche, I'm in this niche, it's not gonna work for me. Or, oh, I think I can do it this way. And they try and change the system that works. But with Alex, even for myself, we just model off what works, and then once you do it, right, once you learn the rules of the game, you can then break them. Now, after running this automated webinar funnel for some time and scaling to $1 million per month, which is big in the grand scheme of things, he knew he needed to innovate because at the time, automated webinar funnels started to die. A lot of people started to copy his offer, build out his webinar and copy him. Everyone was doing an automated webinar and it was no longer effective. And so at that point, he needed to innovate. And this brings me to his second funnel, the $46 million funnel. Now, this is the funnel that absolutely crushed it for Alex Hormozi. And even to this day, even though he exited Gym Launch used a very similar funnel to this that he used to scale to this day, and it still works amazing. Now let's break it down. Now this is gonna surprise you. This funnel is dead simple, but there's a few parts beneath the surface which I'm gonna break down, which nobody sees. The first part of this funnel is the landing page with an offer for a free case study on how he brought one gym 187 new clients. And you can see here by the landing page, there's a little nuance to this. So what he's doing is he's pre-qualifying and he's setting what I call the buying criteria for his exact ideal client. So you can see here, he's like, we work with gyms that can handle 50 plus more new clients in the next 30 days. And so if a gym is brand new or they can't handle that capacity and that amount of clients, then they're not gonna be a good fit. And if somebody can handle that, they're probably gonna be able to also afford what he has to offer. So even in the headline, he's pre-qualifying before someone even goes and enters into his funnel. And what this does, it just weeds out all of the unqualified people and gets only the right people to actually click through to the next page. Now you can see they just have a simple opt-in. It asks them for their name and email, and then it directs them to the next page. Now after the prospect opts in, it then has a survey for a free gym launch call where then they even further pre-qualify these gym owners and get them to book a call with them. Now, after doing some digging and seeing this funnel years ago when I first discovered Alex, he actually used a video sales letter, or VSL, on this page as well, which is basically a condensed, smaller, like 10 to 15 minute, like basically a mini webinar that still pre-qualifies them and shows them and sells them on the opportunity of this gym launch system. But since he has, if you see below the page here, there's a ton of case studies, a ton of testimonials. I'm sure he just got rid of it because his customers and your clients, especially as you grow the business, they're gonna do the selling for you, and that's exactly what he has. He has just a bunch of little mini VSLs on this page, which are client testimonials, and he actually has a testimonial by Russell Brunson, one of his mentors, showing him exactly the system. So it builds a social proof and it does all the selling for him. But starting out, if you just add a VSL to this application funnel, it's gonna crush, and that's what works even to this day. Now, after the gym owner fills out the survey, it then directs them to a calendar where they can book a call with Alex and his sales team to learn more about the gym launch system, and then it sells them on his high ticket program, which is the gym launch program, right, in order to help these gyms scale their businesses. And then he has a success page after someone books the call that basically sells even more testimonials. Now, anybody can go and funnel hack Alex Hormozi, but this is what most people see on the surface. But what you don't see is everything beneath the surface. And what most people don't know is that Alex is actually amazing at sales. And he's always been great at building a sales team. And so what he has is he has his sales team calling all of the survey applications. So even if they don't book the call, so they just fill the survey and don't book the call, they follow up, they qualify the gym owner, and then they set them for their team of closers to then close them on the gym launch system. And so he's able to maximize his entire funnel. Anybody that enters his world, he's maximizing them because he's calling all of the applications, people that are getting on the phone, he's closing. And that's how he was able to maximize every single lead and conversion that came through his funnel. And just by simply calling the opt-ins and the applications, if they don't book the call, will get you between 1 to 3 times the amount of booked appointments that you'll get just from running the same funnel. And this is exactly what allowed Alex Hormozi to confidently spend millions of dollars on Facebook ads and get a 10 to 20x ROI on his ad spend. Then what he would do is he would then retain and ascend his clients so that he could maximize the lifetime value of each client that he acquired. And to give you some perspective on this, the average gym launch competitor of theirs, their LTV, their lifetime value, was about $6,000 to $8,000. But Jim Launch's lifetime value of a client was north of $45,000. And despite the LTV only being 6 to 8 times higher than the competitors, which is still a lot, the subsequent margins were 100 times the profit of their competitors. And it's like the tip of the iceberg. You just see what's on the surface, but you don't see the massive glacier and the massive profit that he was able to generate on the back end and beneath the surface. And so the funnel isn't just a funnel on a bunch of web pages, it's more of the model and the strategy behind it. Watch this video next where I break down the best funnel that's working right now and what I call the ultimate model for scaling to 100K plus a month, just like Alex did. So watch this video right now and I'll see you on that video next.